Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. Good morning. It is Monday. The Monday Morning Grind is brought to you by our friends at Blackout Coffee. John and the family down in Florida are roasting beans to your order. It's fresh, great people. They support the military, support our veterans. They support the second, so we can support them. Link is down below, and that'll help you save some money as well. Check them out. Let's get into another letter penned to Attorney General Barr on behalf of the McCloskeys family, this time by 16 different U.S. representatives. Before I'm going to read you the letter, but I'm going to remind you that this is actually the second letter that a bunch of U.S. reps have penned to the Attorney General regarding this case. And if you're not familiar with this case, I'll have a playlist right there. You can watch all the videos because there's been a lot of changes almost once or twice a week lately. So this first letter came down July 12th, and that was 12 representatives in Congress, and I'll have that video. It's in that playlist as well, but I'll link it here as well in case you just want to watch that one. But this letter came out Thursday, and it was by, like I said, 16 different members of Congress. It was actually penned by Texas Republican Jordy Arrington, and this is what it says. Dear Attorney General Barr, over the last couple months, peaceful protests have spiraled into deadly and destructive riots. Local leaders have tolerated violent mobs and have rendered police powerless to protect their communities and residents. Far too many innocent citizens have lost their lives and had their businesses and private property destroyed. Recently, Mark and Patricia McCloskeys in St. Louis, Missouri, exercised their Second Amendment rights in self-defense, as they were threatened by violent protesters who made menacing remarks and trespassed on their private property. Our Constitution is clear. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Our founders recognized and memorialized this natural human right, the fundamental freedom of self-defense. The state of Missouri goes even further and gives the right of every citizen to keep and bear arms, ammunition, and accessories typical to the normal function of such arms in defense of his home, person, family, and property. Sadly, these God-given rights bestowed upon all citizens of the United States were trampled by the McCloskeys' very own local officials who are responsible for upholding the law. Their firearms were confiscated, and Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner charged them with felonies carrying penalties of up to 4 years in prison. This decision is not only an abuse of power, it is a reckless assault on all citizens' right to bear arms. As police are being told to stand down by feckless and fearful politicians, upstanding citizens across the nation have watched their neighborhoods and communities burn to the ground. Criminals should live in fear of prosecution, not innocent Americans defending themselves, their families, and their property. The prosecuting attorney's actions appear to be driven more by an anti-gun, not anti-crime agenda. This is a devastatingly chilling signal to the more than 2.5 million Americans who recently bought guns for the first time to protect themselves and their families against the unmitigated lawlessness sweeping across our land. We urge you and the Department of Defense to investigate Ms. Gardner's actions and the actions of every rogue prosecutor who fails to uphold the rule of law and secure the rights of our citizens. Americans deserve to know exactly how public officials are abusing their power by harassing individuals exercising their rights and failing to enforce laws against trespassing, destruction, and violations of private property. And I will read you the representatives in Congress so you can hear if yours is here. Jordy Arrington, Scott Perry, Jody Heiss, Tom Tiffany, Jeff Duncan, Dan Bishop, Doug Collins, Brian Babin, Tom Rice, Dan Crenshaw, Randy Weber, Greg Murphy, Paul Gosar, Alex Mooney, Andy Biggs, Ron Wright, and Andy Harris. This letter comes at a time where a lot is going on in this case. You're not really hearing a lot lately. In fact, many people still think that this case was dismissed. It was not dismissed. The Attorney General did file an amicus brief to have this dismissed. However, a judge has not even considered that yet because it hasn't made it to a judge. The first hearing is scheduled for August 31st. So now we have two letters penned to the Attorney General on behalf of the McCloskeys, defending themselves the way that we're supposed to, the way that we're allowed to. And the anti-gunners that are paid for by George Soros don't like that. And Who cares? Now, Congressman Arrington had an interview with the National Review, and he said this: the purpose of this letter is to stop rogue prosecutors who are trampling the constitutional rights of citizens and ensure other local prosecutors do not copycat Gardner and cause a more pervasive problem with this because of politically motivated local elected leaders who want to advance either their personal or political agenda. Yeah, spot on. However, I would have liked if he said that the reason for this letter is to prosecute her for her violations under the color of law than to stop rogue prosecutors, because a letter's not going to stop anybody. A letter has no teeth. He continued, though, let's nip it in the bud and not have a pervasive chain reaction which would create more fear for the part of law-abiding citizens. It would also embolden the bad guys, the criminals, and the thugs that have hijacked peaceful protests who have a singular focus, and that's to sow chaos in our communities and fear in the hearts of fellow Americans. Arrington also said that one way to hold prosecutors accountable would be to defund them. Like, this is the new answer to everything, is like to defund everybody. But then he said another option would be actually look for sanctions through the St. Louis Bar Association. That would be something that would actually, take an effect on people. If they lose the right to practice law, then they'll probably wake up, but they're so well funded by their makers, their keepers, that it might not affect them at all. Arrington also said that while he is very sensitive to the federal government intervening in state and local matters, the constitutional rights of citizens being trampled by those who are supposed to enforce the law and secure those rights at a state and local level is a matter of federal jurisdiction. And he's right. And the last quote I'll give you from this interview is this one. Arrington also said, "We've seen what happens in these cities where local leaders tolerate this. Whatever you tolerate, you'll get more of. We need to make sure within the federal jurisdiction that we send a message to law-abiding citizens that your government has your back in terms of securing those fundamental rights." Well, red flag and bump stocks, I mean, we could always throw that out there, but it is refreshing to see that people in every level of government right now, local, state, and federal, are saying that Kim Gardner's actions are rogue and uncalled for, baseless, and that she is actually the one who's a problem here. Like I promised in the beginning of this case, I will keep you up to date as things happen. If you want to stay up to date, all you got to do is subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon. Also, help the channel by hitting that thumbs up and share the video, because that's how people will get it, because it's been a the YouTube gun channel push, or stopping the push has been going on the last couple weeks. So if you could help out in that endeavor, I'm sure not only me but all the gun channels would say thank you, because it's happening to them as well. Oop. So until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon, and grab some blackout coffee. Take care, everybody.